So we're going to go into your being the founder and CEO of 10 Capital Network. Has there been any sort of crossover between the university students that leave and start their businesses and with your 10 Capital Network as well? Or are they separated because of it's a university alumni?
Well, we've had some students do internship work for us and other things along the way. Most went off to get jobs in the venture capital space or the investment banking space or whatever. The one at Baylor turned out to be very focused on the financial side of it. They do 20, 25 hours worth of financial diligence on each deal that went through the program. So it was a very good project for them. They had a great portfolio. They had experience working with real deals, real dollars, and real investors. And that's what that landed them many good jobs in that case. And we were part of many projects for helping raise funding, as well as also helping educate students on the process.
So your numbers that you quote, and I've only written down that you've raised 900 million for entrepreneurs through 10 funding programs, through the 10 funding programs. What's the secret of finding investors?
Well, there's many investors out there that want to invest in early stage companies. And coming from Austin, when I left National Instruments, I started a company called Texas Entrepreneurs Network. And I had put together the angel groups at Baylor and Austin, and also one called Wilco Angel Network in Williamson County, just north of Austin. So I built up a good network of angel investors and venture capital funds from the time that I did that. And so when I started my firm called Texas Entrepreneurs Network, we were going to help startups raise funding. And so we had just spent a lot of time with angels and angel networks. And so the answer to your question is, you find investors by hanging out with more investors. We went to the Angel Capital Association meetings. We went to the angel clubs. We went to the venture capital panels, and we just hung out with investors, and we met a lot of investors. Having put 3 angel groups together, you meet a lot of investors along the way as well. And there's certain networking opportunities you can take that will put you in touch with a lot of investors around incubators, accelerators, and others. So you can actually find more investors through all of those. We help with the University of Texas and the Rice business plan competitions, and almost all of the judges and mentors were investors. So you hang out with the business school competition plans and you'll find more investors. And I help put the one together that's at Baylor right now. And it's a very good program that we put together there. So you just have to hang out with investors and you'll meet more investors.
That's interesting that you say that. And from raising money, because do you do institutional as well as private investors, or do you specialize in one or the other?
We do primarily private institutions, so venture capital funds, angels, angel groups, as well as family offices, which not necessarily institutions in those cases. So we work with a seed, Series A, Series B, and typically you're working with non-institutional funds. Private equity and those things are for a later stage, not for us.
And what sort of industries do you cover for your clients?
So we cover tech. I'd say technology is about half of it, and that includes fintech, edtech, martech, and the other technologies. Blockchain is coming up very strong right now. And then about 25% are healthcare and biotech is the devices, the diagnostics, and the therapeutics. The majority is still the digital health side of that. And then the other 25% are consumer. It's food and beverage, health and wellness, e-commerce marketplaces, direct to consumer, that type of thing. We are seeing more climate tech and alternative energy starting to come into the picture as well, and have done some engineering projects as well. But mostly the first 3 is the majority of it, because we're in the venture space. Venture space is looking for highly scalable, capital efficient deals that have a high return to the investor.
And what do you think is going to have the greatest impact on business / humanity? Do you think AI or do you think blockchain will?
I think blockchain was going to have the biggest impact. I think it really pervades in so many ways. My thesis is that everything is moving online. And blockchain gives you many more ways to do that. You can move art online with NFTs. You can move finance online with decentralized finance technologies. You can, and the next generation of the web, the foundation of the web will be much more secure, and blockchain is going to be a big part of that. So while AI has a lot of very good applications and will be very important, I think blockchain is much more foundational.
That's so fascinating. When I worked for corporate, I worked in the tech space as a business analyst, project manager, and at that time, so we're talking sort of 4 or 5 years ago, everyone was talking about AI, and they couldn't see an application for blockchain to impact business, which I think is really fascinating, because we're now evolving. Yes, cryptos is one thing, but the blockchain is so much more than just cryptocurrencies. And I'm definitely hearing, I'm speaking to people and interviewing people, that actually the role of blockchain is really having a massive impact. As you say, they can be more secure, and so I think that's really interesting. Just on the NFT space, I've got a friend who's in the NFT space. What's your view on that? There's a lot of criticisms, which I don't actually believe, but like, why would anyone buy something digitally that you couldn't buy physically? Why do you think the NFT space is basically blowing up at the moment?
I think it's an interesting application area. People can understand it and participate in it right away. I will say that there's a lot of red herrings coming out. A lot of the NFTs being sold are laughable. They're ludicrous what they're doing. But what they're doing is they're proving the technology works.